o'clock on the East Coast. It is 5 o'clock on the West Coast. It is the 25th of July in the year of our Lord 2024, season 15, episode 2, 671 times you have been welcomed to the Clubhouse Podcast, your one-stop shop for all things sports, entertainment, pop culture, and pro wrestling. We're going to cover most of that tonight, but you may see the title of tonight's episode being one of two shows this week. We'll get to that here in just a little while. Welcome. My name is Rob. I am the executive producer of the Clubhouse Podcast, and I've been on vacation this week. It's been kind of nice. I don't know if I'm fully recharged, but I'm feeling better. It's been just a full throttle couple of months, and then it's going to go right back to full throttle. So we'll see how it works out. To my left, you're that way. Why can't I ever get that right? He is my co-host, and his shirt kind of matches the color of mine, but his is a lot. Well, actually, we're both wearing championship shirts tonight. He is Alex. Hey, man.
Yeah. Of me representing our hometown Florida Panthers, the Cardiac Cats.
Let's go.
Covering the second time promoted in a couple of seasons with Wrexham. But I want to clarify, you get that right a lot more often than you give yourself credit for, sir.
Okay, fair enough. Because I don't do mirror. I do the way they see it. Because when I do mirror, everything's backwards and it's weird to me. So, but yeah, we're going to get to all of that. But at the bottom of your screen, he is the official fact checker of Sooner Gator Productions. He is responsible for this particular kit that I am wearing. And he's representing what he's going to be doing next weekend. You may know him as Igbunu, but his mama named him Don Ford. I'm going to call him Don Ford. What's up, man?
To make the whole world sing in perfect harmony. Hey,
sure.
The best peoples in advertising history. I'm going to be in Hotlanta, seeing a certain
A-Town Down.
Yeah, A-Town Down on getting there Tuesday night. Going to be in that Centennial Park, all that. Going to see a certain team play a event. And during the day before, I'm going to hit the Coca-Cola Museum.
And if I'm not mistaken, play them for the second time.
What?
Aren't you seeing the same match I watched last night? Next week? Isn't that the same matchup?
It's a different team.
Oh, okay. For some reason, I thought it was the same team.
They're rotating like different teams on these friendlies. So
okay. Well, let's dive. Go ahead, Don.
Let's tell the tease.
Let's dive right in. Make sure you set your DVR for tomorrow night at 7:30 Eastern, unless you watch it live at noon 30 Eastern. I'm always confused by this because the Olympics have now been going for its second day, but the opening ceremonies are tomorrow. Can somebody get a schedule going?
Oh, no, they have the schedule exactly how they want, but the gist is they're like, oh, well, we want to make sure that things get done by a certain date. We don't care about what the opening really is. It's like, this is all because of TV. It really is.
Are the last 2 days the soft opening ceremonies, and tomorrow is the grand opening ceremonies?
To clarify, Don, you said it's this Saturday you're going to see the game?
No, it's next weekend.
Wednesday.
Oh,
Wednesday.
Okay.
In Hotlanta.
Because they're playing in different cities around the country.
No, I just saw that they were playing against Vancouver on Saturday.
Yeah. So we thought, what do you...
California, isn't it?
I think the one last night was in California.
They were in California last night. I think they're in California this weekend. I think they're...
Maybe. I know they're playing in Notre Dame.
We'll get to it.
Yeah.
We'll get to it. We found out Alex and I were having lunch yesterday and saw on the TV. That's how we remembered that the Wrexham match was last night. Mm-hmm. You can watch the opening ceremony in IMAX theaters in select cities. And as Letterman once said, I pray your city has been selected. So it's Olympics time, boys. And I also have an update for Alex coming up here in just a little while of something he and I talked about yesterday at lunch that we thought was a thing, which turns out it's not a thing. So, kind of sucks to be Warner Brothers Discovery right now. Sucks to go, hey, we'll match Amazon's money for the NBA, and the NBA going, no, we're good. So Warner Brothers Discovery losing the NBA. NBA now gets split between Amazon, NBC, and Disney, which When was the last time we had da-na-na-na-na-na-na on the right network? Because that was the original NBA on NBC theme.
I want to say well, you have to count Christmas. I think they still had Christmas games.
But I mean, when it was a regular thing, because it was also sampled by Nelly in a song called Heart of a Champion.
But it might be 15, 20 years now.
Yeah. Like that was almost as recognizable as dun-dun-dun, dun-dun-dun for many, many years. So we're going to see how that works out. Now let's talk about last night. Wrexham was at Levi's Stadium, which I still can't hear that and not think of the wonderful faux pas that Sunday Night Football did in that first season when they played thinking they were being sly and played an instrumental of a certain Here Come the Mummies song because they're in Levi's Stadium going into break and the internet exploding the next morning. But they played Chelsea to a 2-2 tie in what they're calling the Rex Coast Tour, which I thought was hilarious. I thought the team looked good. They have now played 2 Premier teams and gone to draws with both of them. Gave up a goal early. In my opinion, watching this team last night, I feel like they got to attack on defense better. Stay out of the defensive zone. But this is their version of preseason. So their first match, I believe, is August the 10th. The first match that will count. Will be McElhenney was there, of course. Ryan Reynolds is promoting his movie, so I'm sure that's why he was not there. But a great effort by Wrexham, looking good as they are getting ready to go to a bigger stage as their quest for the Premier League continues. I'm very excited to see where this club goes. And they'll be doing this for the next couple of weeks. Don, of course, will be there live and will be giving us a report.
Real quick, I think, that's what I was just realizing when I was looking it up. He's not going to see Wrexham.
No, we're going to see Chelsea. That's Faith's
right.
team.
No, Rob and I were both under the impression that you were talking about Wrexham.
Yeah. No, I mean, we thought about doing the one.
No, I remember last week. Yeah, I remember last week he mentioned it being Chelsea, but for some reason I thought they were playing Wrexham again.
Well, no, I thought it was following Wrexham, but they will be playing when Don is there. America, Liga Mexico team that is among their best.
So but Chelsea has 5 games here on this tour. Then on the 18th is when they have their first game in the Premier League that counts, and that's on against Manchester City at home in Chelsea at Stamford Bridge. And Manchester City is the one that's been a terror for the last 10 years. So
because of Pep Guardiola.
So let's go. Yeah. Let's go. Pat McAfee announcing that he will be returning to College Game Day this season. Mm-hmm. So I don't know if that's going to affect his WWE schedule or not. Last year it did. So we'll just have to see how that all works out.
I think it'll selectively affect him. The one that we were really talking about was, if he's going to be on Raw, I guess he's not doing Monday Night Football with the Mannings or any other variation, which pretty much tells us, if he's doing both, he sticks to Game Day.
Yeah, or he'll be on another bathroom break at a certain point. Alex, I don't know if you saw this today, but I think this is something you will be very, very interested in.
Hit me.
MLB has announced they are launching their own standalone streaming service. You will not need a subscription to cable, internet. I mean, you'll have to have internet, but no cable, no anything like that. It will be their own standalone for $5.99 a month. And if you have their at-bat service, which gives you audio from all the teams, that's only another $1 a month.
Okay. So interestingly enough, I was going to say this isn't huge news as they tried MLB.TV, which has still been a thing with At Bat. They do have the call it the Sunday Ticket version, and I did have that at one time.
Called Extra Innings many years ago, if I remember correctly.
Yes, that was when it was on DirecTV. But they had their own standalone thing. It's just now they're converting to a streaming service that works with more apps versus you having to port through devices. So they're one of the earliest, along with the NFL, that did we're just going to get everything on camera, and wound up finding their own niche for a while, but they're realizing that streaming is the future, and that's just the way to go.
At about a third of the price of the NFL.
Well, it's the cost effectiveness. People want to watch the NFL every time. Baseball, there's too many games.
Congratulations to Dylan Cease. He pitched a no-no today. Mm-hmm. Oddly enough, second time in Padres history, which I found very strange.
You know, I would have guessed more often.
Go ahead, Don.
No hitter, or what's that? No.
A no-hitter. Yeah. It was their second one ever.
I don't know who
Padres
threw
only
the
had
other
two
one.
no-hitters in their entire history.
That is, yes, exactly what I just said.
Wow, I thought they'd have more than that over their history.
And
Not a
my thought process is like, was the first one all the way back to like Gaylord Perry back in the 70s, or was there one more recently I'm not thinking of?
I don't know who the other one was because I actually was out of the room when they actually said it on PTI, but I didn't see it on the crawler. It just said the second one ever in Padres history.
As somebody who roots for a team that didn't get our first no-hitter until like 3 years ago, I understand.
Yeah. All right, let's get into standings
Thank you,
in the
Johan Santana forever.
In the AL East, which remains the most competitive division in baseball. Toronto now 10 games below 500. They're 15 back in the division. Alex, do I need the breaking news sounder?
Oh no, it's something that I don't know would be that interesting for this, but Dylan Cease had to sit through an hour and 15-minute rain delay and then go back in. How rare is that for a starter?
Nice. They are 5.5.
Joe Musgrove was the other. 582 games ago, so about 5-6 years.
Okay. So both of them were in this century.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Toronto 5.5 back on Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay's now 3 back on Boston. By the way, Alex alerting me this week, Tampa Bay will be getting a new stadium.
Yes, they will.
I like the drop. Boston now 4.5 back on the Yankees. The Yankees now 2 back on Baltimore. After, God, man, as Steven said yesterday, man, he hates the Mets.
Oh, he's been
Mets
texting me things that I can't repeat on air. I can't repeat, but I have been returning fire, so don't worry about it. I got Queens covered.
The Chicago White Sox, all I'm going to say is they're 35.5 back in the division, and they are 24.5 games back. Oh, what happened? Does everybody still have me? Everybody still with me?
Yeah, we're here.
Yeah, I was muted. The dogs were going nuts. Sorry.
No, I lost everything, and now I think I've lost my camera.
Yeah, you're frozen.
Well, you're frozen, but you're still audio.
Yeah.
If it counts for anything, you don't look bad.
I told you I have the perfect face for radio. Let me see if I can do this. All right, there's the rest of my studio.
We got that.
I'm trying to switch the camera back and forth to see if it'll reset itself. There we go.
There it is.
Everything just kind of went blank for a minute. I was like, why am I? They are 24.5 games back on Detroit, by the way, boys. Detroit now
back on the Tigers.
Detroit now 5.5 back on Kansas City. The Royals are a game behind Minnesota, but Cleveland now 4.5 up on them. By the way, actually, I'm going to hold off on that because I just saw something that made me go, yikes. In the AL West, the Oakland / Vegas.
Put a big pin in that. I don't know if you saw that headline.
Nope, let's go for it.
Apparently, this is not breaking news. But apparently the funding that the team was anticipating in Vegas did not succeed.
Oh, dear.
So now they're kind of a team without a home, or they're going to have to figure out a very different plan.
Well, there's another team in that same town that had a headline, and I thought it was clickbait, so I didn't click on it. So I may have to have you clarify when we get there.
What's up, Alex?
The Oakland A's.
A's, okay.
Yeah.
Who are currently 13 games back in the division, and they are 5 back on The Angels are 5.5 back on the Rangers. The Rangers now a game and a half back on Seattle, who's a game back on Houston. So the top 3 teams in that division's getting a little snug, and we will be keeping an eye on that as things happen. All right, we just got some love from a Bard Alexander. Shout out.
What's up, Bard?
In the National League West, the Colorado Rockies They got a little bit of a scuffle last night, didn't they?
Yeah, but we can't repeat why.
Exactly. They wouldn't say on the S-Spin yesterday, but Chick
The
McGee
internet's undefeated.
he did a really good job. Chick McGee did a very good job of summarizing it this morning, and I was like, ooh. And then hung 20 on.
Yeah, that too.
Let's see. They are 23.5 back in the division. They are, but that should tell you that maybe they've opened a gap between them and somebody else for North America's favorite game show when they hung 20 on somebody last night. They are 10.5 back on the Giants. San Francisco now 5.5 back on Arizona. The Diamondbacks are a game back on San Diego, with the Padres now 7.5 back on the Dodgers. Wow. I mean, you want to talk about, like, I'm still keeping my eye on the Dodgers.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they're just not playing consistent ball. It's very strange.
But when they click, they are dominating everything and everyone. They strike me as one of those teams that's going to go in as a division leader, and then this is that team that it clicks and they lose 0 games the entire playoffs on their way to a world championship.
They were actually talking about that on Around the Horn today, that it's kind of like that what the Braves showed a couple of years ago. As long as you're hot in August and September, that's all that matters. In the NL
0-0 when you start the playoffs.
In the NL Central, the Cubs are 11 back. They're a game back on the Reds. The Reds are kind of in a free fall right now, but they've won 2 in a row, and they're 500 in their last 10. Let's see here. They are 3 back on Don's Pittsburgh Pirates. The Pirates are a game back on St. Louis, and St. Louis is now 6 back on Milwaukee. By the way, shout out to the city of Pittsburgh getting ready for their big Pickle Fest coming up, sponsored by Nine. That Alex alerted me to. And in the only division that matters, the NL East, the Marlins. Dear God, we're still terrible. We are 27.5 back in the division. We're 10 back on the Nationals. Washington now.
If I may, sir?
Yes.
Remember, it's Kings of New York, your Metropolitans.
I'm not saying that. But the Mets, by the way, Mets best record in their last 25 games. They're tied for the best in the league at 16-9.
Oh, and here's another fun fact. Since the All-Star break, they're the only team better than 600.
And you're still a game and a half back on the Braves. The Braves now 9 back on Philly. Philly's starting to feel a little thumping in the wheels there a little bit, and I'm okay with it. All right, gentlemen.
I think your team and mine are going to be fighting over a very big trade prospect.
It's time for North America's favorite game show. What is the run differential for the Chicago White Sox? Oh, they're going bell to bell. I am resigned to it. They are going full season in this contest. Don, what you got?
Mm-hmm.
Negative 150.
Alex.
I feel like it was like negative 170 just last week or just 2 weeks ago. I'm going to say 180.
Last week was minus 171. The Chicago White Sox are currently 20.
Close to that.
The Chicago White Sox are currently 27-78. That is a 257 win percentage. As I stated earlier, they are 35.5 games back in the division. Now, if you want to put that in perspective,
so bad.
They're 30 games out of the wild card at the end of July.
There's still a chance.
You're not wrong.
No, there isn't. No, there isn't. There was a report.
Hold on. I just gave Don a big lecture last week about believing in his team, so I cannot fault him this week for saying there's a chance.
In every game of the rest of the season, but there's a chance.
But mathematically, they're already toast. That was the report
They
last
are
week.
17.
They clinched a losing record
17
the week after the All-Star break.
17-34 at home, 10-44 on the road. They are on an 11-game skid right now. The closest team they are the only team still in the American League with a triple-digit negative run differential. Law is at minus 93. They are the closest team. The only other teams in a negative run differential are all in the 60s, being Tampa Bay at minus 67, Toronto at minus 69, and Oakland at minus 67. In the National League, there are 2 teams in triple digits. My beloved Marlins at minus 145. Colorado, remember, Colorado was threatening. They've gained some ground, as we talked about. They're at minus 157 currently. And the closest team to them, period, in the National League is Washington at minus 44. So put that in perspective. Nobody above minus 44 until you hit triple digits in the National League. The Chicago White Sox. Why is this not working? There we go. Currently have a run. You both came in under, by the way. The Chicago White Sox.
I know one of us did.
Currently have a run differential of minus 201. They have the double century mark, boys.
Oh my God. And they still have like 70 games to go.
Yeah. I mean, they play, let's see, 97. It's 105. So we're at what? 58 games? Oh, 57, 58, somewhere in there?
57.
So if they lose by an average of 2 runs, they'll hit the 300 we've been expecting all season.
And
that's
I know
a thing.
Looked it up at what the record was, but I feel like we need to just keep a count and keep repeat.
What's your overall
Anytime
record
we do
again,
it.
Rob? What's the overall?
Overall record currently 27-78.
Okay.
257 win percentage. The closest team to them in the American League is Oakland at a 394. And in the National League, it's Miami at 359. By the way, Miami, again, almost 50 runs better currently. So you got that going for you, which is nice. All right, boys, let's talk a little bit of TV talk as we get into stuff we watched this week. Alex, any TV?
I am getting ready to ramp up and start on The Boys now that it has finished. I am very much looking forward to it. From an actual streaming standpoint, I was getting into it, and I highly recommend it. If you like gaming or just pure human heart, I realize I am saying something that's a movie. If you want me to hold on.
Yeah, hold off on that, please. Don, any TV you want to talk about this week that you watched?
On MGM, the Forrest Whitaker one. God, what was it? Hold on. Bear with me. I'm trying to. Where he plays the judge.
It had a name similar to Last King of Scotland, but it wasn't that.
Yeah, hold on. I apologize for not.
I don't know. Real quick, the worst run differential by a team that still exists is minus 349 by the 1932 Red Sox. The White Sox are on a pace to finish at minus 361. In fact, that would be a full 12 runs ahead, or excuse me, 22? No, 12 runs ahead.
So, well, Don,
Emperor Ocean Park.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you enjoying it?
Yeah. Very interesting, kind of that whodunit, and there's something deeper in the folds on that one. So.
I finished The Acolyte this week.
Yeah, so did we.
I'm just going to start it.
It did not land the bird.
See, the interesting thing is I've been seeing a lot of positivity outside of this show. but maybe I'm just looking in positive places.
I did not enjoy it. I am caught up on Heart. Go ahead, Don.
What would you say is worse, the Christmas special or this new series?
The holiday special?
Yeah.
The holiday special.
Okay.
Because the holiday special is over in 90 minutes. This took 6 weeks, 8 weeks. I don't even know what it was anymore, but it was way out of what it should have been. I am caught up on Hard Knocks. The finale is next Tuesday. Now, yesterday at lunch, Alex and I were talking about when Hard Knocks with the training camp with the Chicago Bears. They will not be taking a break, Alex. It starts week after next.
Nice.
I Googled
More
it.
football is good football.
I Googled it last night. I was like, I wonder, we're not taking any time off. We're just getting right at it.
You know what would have been a real ballsy move if they had done it? Do the finale with the premiere of the next one over right behind it.
Oh.
Give us a solid 2-hour block. Get the juices flowing for the NFL.
But we talked about this at lunch yesterday. I really think they should have done this earlier in the year because we know how it ends.
Like I said when we were talking about it yesterday, I feel like they had to do that, pushing it back for number one, not only keeping it with that schedule. If we're going to talk about the Olympic schedule, we can give them credit for this. But with that off season, like I said, I genuinely believed that they didn't get enough footage to do it week to week like they do the normal training camp.
Fair enough. Apple TV announcing today, if you're a fan of The Good Place, William Jackson Harper from there will be joining season 4 of The Morning Show, which my wife very much enjoys that show. And they have renewed Camp Snoopy for season 2. Snoopy seems to be doing very well with the Apple TV.
All of it does.
FX also mentioning that the final season of What We Do in the Shadows will kick off on October 21st. I think they said they're airing the first 3 episodes like right off the bat.
Well,
it's the final episode.
The final
season. Yeah.
I love that show.
Everybody loves that show. But the problem, Don, is we have to realize all of them are supremely talented and getting a lot of other stuff to do as well.
I still love it.
I do too. They can't be tied to it forever.
Yeah, they could. Make me happy.
Now I almost am glad it's the finals. No, I never.
We have breaking news from the Olympics. Canada has removed their women's soccer coach due to their own version of Spygate.
Did you hear about this?
Oh, yeah. Sometimes
what happened?
Sometimes people take the if you ain't cheating, you ain't winning a little too far.
But so Don, there was a member of the Canadian coaching staff that had been flying a drone over other teams in their group's practice.
Kind of can't do that.
No,
it's not a good sport, but I appreciate the creativity and attempt.
HBO announcing that Judd Apatow is working on a documentary about Mel Brooks.
Ooh,
very excited about this. No release date has been announced, but I did see the announcement.
That's a day one, I think, for all 3 of us.
I got a feeling it's going to be at least 2, if not 3-parter.
Still.
It still might not be enough. Hulu has renewed the Kardashians for season 6, so you got that going for you, which is nice.
I thought that was done. I thought it was all done.
Keeping Up with the Kardashians was done on the but it's been on Hulu for 5 years now. This might be a potential spoiler to people that may not be caught up on this show. I don't know, but I feel like their season finale was like 2 months ago. Season 13 of Chicago Fire will have Dermot Mulroney joining the cast.
Not Dylan McDermott.
That's a great game show on SNL, but no. But he'll be joining this. I guess, I mean, if you haven't seen if you're not caught, I don't know. My wife likes these shows. No. I won't say who he's playing, but he's joining the cast. So in case it's a spoiler.
Good.
Season 4 of Bridgerton on Netflix will be led by Luke Thompson playing Benedict. A lot of people are saying they're going to have to tame the character down intensely from the books. That's all.
And today I learned they come from books.
That was me yesterday. Umbrella Academy Season 4 with a couple of big casting announcements today.
But once again, last season said.
That's 2?
Yes.
But did you see
2 done?
You see joining the cast?
What's that?
Did you see who's joining the cast?
Please deliver.
Hollywood power couple Nick Offerman and Megan Mullally.
Mm-hmm.
Big fan of both of them.
I have a sneaky
Ron
suspicion
Swanson.
I know who Nick Offerman is going to be playing, and I hope I'm right, but I'm not going to say it just in case.
Ron Swanson, my hero.
Paramount Plus has announced they're doing a show called The Agency, which is based on a French show. This is the first I've heard of it. Let me run you down. Catherine Watterson will be joining the cast, but let me tell you who's in this thing. Fassbender,
Yes.
Richard Gere,
Win.
Jeffrey Wright, and
Win.
Jodie Turner-Smith.
Win. Why am I not watching this already?
It's not out yet,
Oh,
but I was like, what's the budget on this show?
sorry. When you said joining the cast, I thought you were saying that it was for the next season, not the.
Well, let me see if there's actually a release date, because I just saw the story today. Yeah, it doesn't even have like a poster ad yet. Based on the brilliant series The Bureau from 2015, follow a world of even deeper intrigue and subterfuge, with characters fighting their own battles as they grapple with existential threats to the nation and the world. Looks like 10 episodes will be coming, but that's all we know.
Okay.
But
That sounds awful.
Fassbender's your central character.
Well, Ken Fassbender. I believe Prometheus proved Fassbender doesn't play B.
No, I'm just saying, like, but look at that list of people. It could be any.
Yeah. That is 100% true.
Let's see here. Are you caught up in HDTGM, Alex?
Not even close, but feel free.
Okay, so a couple of weeks ago on Last Looks, they actually had June on with Paul.
Okay.
And June said one of the promises that he had to make to her is that he would never do anything of a scare tactics type prank on her.
I remember he actually mentioned that in his book.
So I thought that was weird because it was announced today. Jordan Peele is producing a scare tactics reboot for USA.
Of course.
I'm not saying, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
TV on DVD and Blu-ray this coming week. Something I teased last week. Alex already knew about it, and that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Ted Lasso, The Richmond Way. It will be the entire series with you can have your own Believe sign that's reversible with a picture of the team. I am very excited about this. I couldn't see a listing. Let me see if Amazon's got a better listing for it, because I wanted to see what the extras were on it. Blu-ray complete series. Let's see what we got going on here. There it is. See what the extras are. See if we know. Looks like if you want the Blu-ray set, it will run you retail $75 from Amazon. 7 discs in the Blu-ray set. Let's see. I'm starting to see. Got it. Let's see if there's anything that says what I don't see anything giving me the extras on this. So we'll have to see what those extras are. Nothing. All right, fair enough. And Ultraman Taiga, the complete series and the movie, as well as the series The Sadness, all will be available this week. Let's see here. Do you guys have any movies for stuff we watched this week? Because I don't.
Well, now that I'm actually going to say it in the appropriate time frame, watched a documentary that dropped on Max that was really interesting. And just to clarify, this is just the title. Called Quad Gods. It follows an esports team for people who are quadriplegic, the stuff they have to go through just to get to events, who they are, how they've had to deal with real setbacks beyond just paralyzed, but working with different tech groups, helping to improve functions to enjoy gaming for those that are lesser able. And just for the record, there is a dude on the Rocket League team named Surge who literally cannot move anything below his neck, plays the entire game by head movement and blowing in air. And that dude, it has one of the darkest sense of humors, but it is hilarious.
All right, fair enough. Don, anything from you?
And this is gonna be in the same boat of your TV show. I finally got to watching the Beverly Hills Cop, the new one.
Oh, Axel F. What'd you
Axel
say?
F. Huh. That was a hard eye roll.
Don is saying no. It's on my list.
I was very disappointed. Put it this way, I like the third part better than the fourth.
I would like to give you boys a homework assignment.
Oh no.
No promises. I didn't do homework when I was supposed to.
It looks like you can rent this to stream, or it looks like it comes with Amazon Prime. The latest film from the great David Dismalchin. It's called Late Night with the Devil.
I've already seen it.
Oh, Alex, what are your thoughts?
I loved it. It was brilliantly bat guano crazy. But at the same time, it was one of those that the way they did it really kind of, and Don, this is what I'm going to say for you. With all the craziness that does happen, as you would expect with a movie of this title, it grounds itself in some real believability, harkening back to that era of television. It's really incredibly interesting and well done. And it's more terror than it is fright, if you know what I mean. Like there's dread versus jump scare.
So basically, this is a late night talk show where a guy has on a young lady that claims to be possessed by the devil, and then the wheels fall off.
And it's based on a true story that actually happened on Canadian television. Now, does it ramp into for the narrative? Yes. So don't just look up the story.
I'll be interested to see what your thoughts are on that, because it is not my bag, but I am intrigued.
No. You know, allow me to put it in this context. It is not in the same vein of Overlord, which I still say you should watch. This is definitely a horror movie, but I think you would appreciate the aesthetics and the execution independently. Not telling you to watch it, just saying that I think you'd like it in that scope.
Want to send it
Movie again? What's it called?
Late Night with the Devil.
And what platform is it?
You should be able. It's everybody's got it. AMC Plus, Philo, Sling TV, YouTube, Roku channel, Prime Video, Google Play, YouTube TV, Fandango, and Apple TV are all the lists from Google. Want to send a quick shout out to everybody at Greater Austin Comic Con this past weekend. Amazing show. Had an incredible time. Thank goodness it rained a little bit because it wasn't as hot as it could have been. But everybody that came out for the pre-party came out for the after party and did some karaoke. I learned music I hadn't heard before. Some of it good, some of it, let's just say I'll be not making sure to watch Hazbin Hotel with anybody young. That is an anime series that I've been told is very unstable, and a couple of people sang one of the songs from it. I feel like Trey Parker and Matt Stone would go, that might be a little far. But had a great time. Sat down with Bob Gunton on Saturday.
Dude still looks the same too.
He was fantastic. I told him how interesting I thought it was that a lot of his career has come down to even numbers. And I broke it down for him, and he started laughing. He goes, I've never had that broken down like that before. He did not know about the 24 movie until that morning. But he said, like, hey, call me. I'm in. He goes, I'm the only character on that show whose job literally changed every season. And he actually remembered every position his character held, which I thought was great. He told the story of how he got his Bronze Star in Vietnam, which was a great story. As soon as I get the video back from our fantastic AV team, I'll be posting that. Also on Sunday, got to talk to Timok, who absolutely fantastic human.
That's my dude.
He tells a story about a play he was involved in, Alex, that I think you will find intriguing. I'm not going to go into the story, but I'm going to give you 4 words: Roadhouse, the comedy.
The worst part of my brain was like, that's not 4.
And of course, if you follow me on social media, I had the absolute honor for 45 minutes of my life to talk to Weird Al Yankovic, who was, it took hours for the adrenaline to fade from my body. I'd heard so many stories from people on how amazing and gracious and cool he is, and it's all true. And then some. It's the only time I haven't been hosting panels all that often, but it's the first time that I live was interviewing somebody and almost started crying at the end. And I'm not afraid to admit that. I really can't wait to get the videos back so you guys can see it. It was exciting and humbling and all of the things, because I was very... It warmed my heart, the number of people that came up to me afterwards that were like, we took pictures, can we send them to you? Like, that was amazing. I thanked him for waiting to release his new single until the day before the show. I also thanked him for waiting until my birthday to release the 35th anniversary of UHF. And the day of the panel was the actual 35th anniversary of the release of UHF. So, and everybody had great questions. He's everything. Mm-hmm. And I'm so thankful that I got the opportunity to sit down with him. And I want to thank everybody that has supported me in this journey. Go back 5 years and tell me that's going to happen. I'm going to tell you, you're out of your mind. And I did pick up the illustrated Al, but I haven't read it yet. So, but thanks to everybody that worked the show, that came to the show. Our cosplayers did an amazing job. They took all of the cosplay stuff and just ran with it. And that made my life so much easier. So next show coming up will be the weekend of August 24th and 25th for Dallas Comic Show up in Louisville. So we'd love to come see a hangout. We're going to have Sam J. Jones. They've announced they're going to do a screening of Flash Gordon with him at the Texas Theater. Reb Brown, who I got to talk to at Hill Country this year, the original Captain America, wonderful human. Good friend of the show, Brian Massey, will be there. I don't know if I'm hoping we can get some time with him. Got some great guests that are going to be there.
And where's that at, Rob?
That will be at the Vista Ball in Louisville the weekend before Labor Day weekend. So, and then Mark did mention when his one after that is, but I don't remember the dates offhand. I'd have to get a calendar. So
I'm sure there's plenty of time.
Speaking of shows, Saturday night we will be on the air. We will be live from the Asian Film Festival Dallas. We'll be at the Angelica, probably around 5 or 6, somewhere in there. I'll set up the link here probably tomorrow. One of a couple of our favorite people is Schubert's, very deeply involved in Asian Film Festival of Dallas. It actually kicks off tonight. We'll be there. They're doing the red carpet from 5:30 to 6:30, I believe. But keep your eye on the social media for when we'll be there. I'm hoping to have a guest co-host with me because the boys will both be out of pocket. But if not, I will do it by myself because I ain't scared. It might be horribly unentertaining, but we're going to try real hard, and that's all you ask of us. Just a couple of notes because I'm going to save a lot of the movie talk for Saturday night. I want to say real quick, we announced last week on the show as it broke, which was crazy. We have your Alamo reopening dates available to you. Richardson will be August 9th. They will actually be installing in their large theater. It's going to get the big show treatment with Dolby Atmos. That will be available by Labor Day. Ooh, that was announced. Lake Highlands will be August 13th. They're going to be installing by the spring premium recliners and laser projectors there. Cedars will reopen August the 16th. Denton on August 20th, Las Colinas on August 23rd, and Woodbury, Minnesota will be August the 27th. All of these dates are available on their website, and they will be doing, at each date, for the first 2 weeks after that, they'll be doing $5 movies as well as 25% off select food and beverages. So getting ready for the Alamo to be back up and running. We'll keep you noted there. Also, they're good. They're honoring any tickets or any like swag you've pre-ordered for anything. They will be honoring that. Movie new releases in places you get movie new releases right now. Deadpool and Wolverine is up in, is it Deadpool and Wolverine or Wolverine and Deadpool? It's Deadpool and Wolverine. Right?
Deadpool and Wolverine, alphabetical order.
Okay, thank you. That is, showings are going now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to find some time this weekend. Also this weekend, let me go to do the thing because I'm not on the right page. We have the Fabulous Four releasing tomorrow. It tells the story of two friends who travel to be bridesmaids in a surprise wedding of their college girlfriend. Let me run this down for you. Susan Sarandon, Bette Midler, Megan Mullally, Cheryl Lee Ralph, Bruce Greenwood, and Michael Bolton.
I'm how do I say this as respectfully as I can? Are we just trying to do the older bridesmaids?
Well, we kind of did it earlier with the sequel to Book Club, too.
But that's kind of what I'm getting at, because like I was not prepared for that. That's not even the second biggest movie I'm looking forward to releasing this weekend, but I don't want to cut you off.
This is directed by a Jocelyn Moorhouse, who directed The Dressmaker, How to Make an American Quilt are the two I recognize. So, also this week, a movie called Dee Dee, which is not about Dexter's sister. Not that Dexter. Let's see here. In 2008, during the last month of summer before high school begins, this is a foreign film. An impressionable 13-year-old Taiwanese American boy learns what his family can't teach him. And then also this week, we have The Beast Within.
I am excited for this one. This is the other movie I'm looking forward to. I just feel bad it's releasing this weekend.
After a series of strange events leads her to question her family's isolated life on a fortified compound deep in the English wilds, 10-year-old Willow follows her parents on one of their secret late-night treks to the heart of the forest. Kit Harington is in this. Ashley Cummings. Let's see. Directed by Alexander J. Farrell. Farrell. Not a lot on his resume. Some shorts. And then also this week, Swan Song, which is a documentary.
This is also a remake.
Oh, is it really?
Yes. It's an early 80s. If you see the trailer, you know what the movie's about, but I'm not going to say it because I'm not going to be that guy. But it is in the classic movie monster mold, but from the early 80s.
Also, a documentary called Swan Song, executive produced by Nev Campbell. This is a behind-the-scenes look at one of the world's leading ballet companies' production of Swan Lake. Movies on DVD and Blu-ray this coming Tuesday, The First Omen. So you got that going for you. The movie that Don saw, I believe is Don saw. Don, you saw Sting earlier this year, right? With the spider. Or was that you?
The big spider.
The big spider.
Yeah,
Spain.
yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, that's on DVD and Blu-ray this week. The documentary William Shatner, You Can Call Me Bill. They are doing a limited edition of the movie of The Man from U.N.C.L.E., and the Paramount Presents this week is Election.
Oh, that's two solid enders right there. Because I don't care what anybody says. The Man from U.N.C.L.E. as a movie, wildly underrated.
I own it, still haven't watched it.
I think that's the one.
It's like that and Atomic Blonde are sitting on my shelf right now. And
I think those are the two that I bought for you when I was saying, like, you need to see these. And you were like, I'm not so sure about it. I was like, I will buy them for you. You need to see these.
We also got me 1917, which is also on my shelf too.
Right. But to clarify, the ones we couldn't remember were those.
And now this. The other half of this show is the Cheat Podcast, where we talk to you about all things professional wrestling. So we are going to dive right in. Of course, today was the first day, the preview day for San Diego Comic-Con, and at a panel in Hall H, Ronda Rousey announcing she is pregnant with her second child. So mazel tov to her and the family there.
She didn't have to.
We are starting to see the... I didn't see the pictures, couldn't tell you.
No.
NWA 76.
Along.
NWA 76 coming up here in August 31st at the 2300 Arena. The only match that has been announced so far is Mike Knox and Trevor Murdoch will take on Kerry Morton and Alex Taylor. The rest of it is just everybody that's going to be there, and it's the roster. It's NWA. It's the 76th anniversary. Everybody's going to be there. Slammiversary was a thing last Saturday night when Jordan Grace has to come out and apologize for lack of surprises from that show.
Yeah.
I mean, ABC are your new world tag team champs. PCO is your new digital media champion. He gets engaged to Steph DeLander. And I put Dolph Ziggler, but it's Nick Nemeth is your new champion.
Yes, he is.
So
Well,
that was Slammiversary.
did she say that on social media after the show
Yes.
or something?
Well,
Really?
basically,
She did an interview where she was.
Because there's been so much cross-promotional use between TNA and NXT, there was a very high expectation for people to have a lot more crossover. And apparently the Microsoft outage grounded a lot of planes, if not all the planes, for people that were supposed to show up.
It affected us last weekend at the Comic-Con as well. So rumors are abounding. Something Alex mentioned last week. We are 90% sure this is a thing, but Hikuleo has signed with the company. Hikuleo. We do want to send our support
Zilla has
out.
also been teasing.
Go ahead. Oh, Zilla has?
Zilla Fatu has been teasing showing up as well.
Let's see here. Let me do a quick Google search on something before we talk about it.
Do you want me to hit that breaking news before we get there?
Do that right now. Yep.
Now, Don, you're going to be probably more excited than anybody for this based on things that you have been plugging for.
Okay.
Today, Paul Triple H Levesque, Nick Khan, and Sadiq Khan met for an extended period of time and are believed to have come to an agreement for a multi-plea deal that may or may not be including a WrestleMania in London.
I told you.
Oh no, you're not wrong.
Yeah. I just, they would not tease that on a live pay-per-view and the whole statement, you know.
I think that was more of a ground tester to see how people responded versus them actually teasing something, though.
Especially with All In coming out also. Next,
I think that's going to be the big interesting thing is that Wembley will now hold two big ones unless there is a larger stadium that they can find.
I mean, the Olympic Stadium. I mean, still they could.
I think Wembley's still larger at this point, but I could be wrong. We'll have to look into what the largest venues in London are, because the concept was Sadiq Khan, in case anybody doesn't know, is the mayor of London and would be the contact for any of those events, which means he would want to keep it as London proper as possible.
Well, put it this way, whether it be like Stamford Bridge, the Olympic, or Wembley, or
right,
whatever.
but at this point, if we don't have numbers in front of us, we're just spitballing.
Yeah. Okay.
And that way they can all stuff like that from London. We want to send our best out to Johnny Gargano's family. His dad lost the restaurant they've had forever in a fire this past week. I do not see on a basic Google search if there's any way there's like a GoFundMe or something for the family or anything.
I would say be very careful unless you see that from somebody. There is a lot of people that love to jump on that, and then the money goes missing, and it's unfortunate, but does happen. So if you do see anything and it was not put up by a member of the Gargano family or Candice LeRae, do not give it money.
And we want to send our best to the family, and we hope everything comes out okay there. The only programming note I have at all is just the announcement of Seth Rollins being the referee for Punk McIntyre at SummerSlam. That's all I got. Like, that's how uneventful WWE was for me this week.
I will say I'm still enjoying Jacob Fatu getting to look like the best version of Jacob Fatu coming in. There's been some interesting stuff. I feel like we're laying it on too thick with Dom and Liv at this point. Like, do any of us think that this is it, or if there's going to be a turn?
Oh, there's more coming. I'm
talking about specifically the fact that they're laying it on so thick that Dominic costs Rhea.
If anything, I think it's a double swerve. I think Dom does cost Rhea, thinking that will get him in the good graces with Liv, and then Liv just repeating. You realize the only reason I did this was to get in her head.
See, that's interesting because my mind was trying to think like, okay, I think Dom does that, but then does like that push Rhea and Damian technically out of the Judgment Day, because those two could stand on their own. I am 100% convinced with that. Whereas Judgment Day is working as itself with a unit, and everybody was enjoying the gifts of Liv except for Damian and obviously Rhea, who wasn't there. So I almost wonder if there is something like that we're going to go down that path. Don, what do you think?
Go ahead.
First off, the Wembley boasts 90,000. Twickenham Stadium in London also, where they have the like rugby and stuff, where they have the NFL games, 82,000.
Okay, so Wembley's still the largest?
But still, it's you get 80 something thousand, with the floor and everything, they could still get a huge thing.
I think they're going to want to try.
I think it's going to be a turn on Mommy, where Dirty Dom's going to be Dirty Dom on Mommy and go with Liv. Yeah, and cost Rhea the match and be
right, but after
girlfriend.
That. Okay, so you're thinking they're just a unit together, Liv and Dom going off?
Secretly, and he's going to turn on Rhea and cost the match.
No. That's I'm past that part, Don. Yeah. I'm saying the aftermath. We agree that Dom's going to turn on Rhea.
Yeah.
But the aftermath, how do you see
that? I think so. I think he'd be that relationship with then he gets kicked out of the Judgment Day, I think, possibly.
Okay, there it is. Okay.
I think there's another piece to this.
Hit us.
There's been subtle mentions of this in this entire angle. Remember I think it was a Mania, where Trish was tagging with Christian and then turned on him to join Jericho?
Yes.
I think you boys are missing the Finn Balor of it all.
That Finn's the one that's really the counterpart?
Finn's the one that winds up with Liv.
Okay, that's what I was trying to think of a better way to say it, but
if you've been watching this angle, he's been the one that's
the room
key and playing the video game and going a different way. And I think that, and he could be a red herring too, which I'm also okay with. Steer me one way, swerve me the other. I'm good with it. But I think there's some subtlety. And if it's one thing we've learned in the Triple H era, subtlety has become an art form. Whether it's the Creeds in the background talking to Chad Gable a month ago, or Damian Priest talking to Paul Heyman in the background months ago. There's some subtlety to this. Oh, Mike stopped by to say hello. There's some subtlety to this that we talked about with Money in the Bank, with that storytelling. It's causing me to watch stuff closer now.
It's true.
What's happening in the background? What is this promo telling me? Like, it's making me analyze things better. But we're in this peaks and valleys thing right now that I'm not totally on board with, but they're keeping me interested enough.
Yeah,
so that's where I'm at.
I commend them for.
Let's talk some AEW stuff. Congratulations!
Matters. Oh, did we just lose Rob?
I got to do this thing again. I'm here. I've got to do this stupid thing. Okay, now I'm back. It's like everything just blinks and it goes out and then it comes back. I don't know what's going on and it's driving me to the brink. Congratulations, Buddy Matthews has re-signed with AEW. There was some debates as to Malachi Black, but they're like, look, he's locked in for a long time. Leave him alone. Also, we have a new broadcaster with AEW who Alex is familiar with.
You're going to have to remind me.
Melissa Santos?
Oh, see, I was thinking of somebody at the desk. She's a backstage reporter. Yes, Melissa Santos, a.k.a. Mrs. Brian Cage, and a spitfire of a woman who also is out of every man's league.
So congratulations to her. And we also want to say congratulations to the amazing Tony Schiavone. He has received the Gordon Solie Award from the George Tragos Luthez Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame, which, in my opinion, richly deserved. I don't know if you saw the interview with him about it, where he's like, I'm not a big Hall of Fame kind of guy, but when Jerry Briscoe calls you and says, we're doing this, you do this. So very, very impressed by that. And check out that interview. Collision had their first show at the Arlington residency. Sky Blue is legit injured. We're sorry. We hope she comes back soon. But I thought that the look of what they're doing with that esports arena, it looks great. It's even the lighting just gives me that old school house show vibe that I like. The only thing they really need to do, they've got to, it's the JR thing. Keep the audience dark, because I could see where the walls were, because that's not a big arena. And of course, it's making the marks go crazy.
But the other part about it is, with the way they've shot it, that is not an arena. I don't care what they call it. That is a convention center ballroom where the walls have been cut down.
It was the Arlington Convention Center for years.
But what I'm saying is the way that they framed it, even with the lights up, made it look like a bigger, more important venue. And I give them all marks in the world for that. It did look decent. It made it look like not throwaway shows. I'll give it that. But it definitely has something more than I expected.
I thought it looked pretty cool. They'll be having Death Before Dishonor there tomorrow night. So I'll be tuning in for that. Dynamite last night. Oh. Your boy's off his rocker, Don.
Haven't saw it yet.
Oh my God, yes.
You've got two choices right now. You can bail or get spoilers, because I'm not holding anything back.
And I don't think we
I'm
can.
going to leave for just a second then. Let me say this, though. That Broadway match from last week.
Did not tell you.
Yeah, here's the thing. That was a perfect heel move. Because usually what happens is the heel's about to lose, and this time inlet hits when they're about to do the 3, and that's the reverse. How many times have you seen the heel do it with 2 seconds from Broadway? That was heel booking 101.
Oh, it got better this week, so I'm going to let you roll.
He opened the show last night, Don.
Don, if you don't want spoilers, you need to walk away.
Yeah, because I'm not waiting a week to talk about it.
Go for it. Do it.
Okay.
Go for it. It's okay.
So MJF comes out, talks about how easiest match of his career.
Oh, God, no.
He was efficient. He wasn't winded.
13 minutes.
Yeah, 13 minutes. Got hit by a girl at ringside, which completely sold that in an interview, which I thought was hilarious.
Real life or
oh no. A little girl punched him in the stomach
at ringside.
Well, it was up the walkway in the crowd.
Yeah.
And Will Ospreay tried to play into it, thinking she wasn't going to do it, and she hauled off and punched him almost in the gentleman's area.
Talks about the championship and dumps the belt in the garbage.
Oh, he calls him Medusa?
No, wait for it.
Because the rest of the world doesn't deserve him.
Oh, dear God.
So he walks to the back of the ring, unveiling the AEW American Championship.
Saddest thing, this is the best belt reveal they've ever done.
And Don, I'm gonna pull it up for you. Hold on.
Oh, yes, please.
Because I want you to see this.
Do you have a shot of the side plates?
There's a shot of it sitting flat. So I think that'll be, because the problem was the side plates for this thing you couldn't really read anything because the lighting was hitting it so much you couldn't really see anything.
Plus, there was some coloration in some of the lines of the letters. I could read one side plate. If you want me to just say it, go for it.
Well,
But I
I'm
couldn't read
about
the other
to
one.
know it.
Okay.
So, Don, are you ready to see the new AEW American Championship? In 3, 2, 1, here you go.
Let me try that.
Yeah, I can't. I'm trying to zoom in on it, but it won't let me.
So to clarify, Don, you can see that the leather is an American flag, right?
Yeah.
Here you go. How's that for you, Don?
Yeah. Okay.
Oh my God, that's the side I couldn't read said only
Was
country
it
that
Only
matters.
country that matters. Yeah, I could. The lights were hitting that real hard.
But the better than you and the UK knows it.
Yeah.
Oh no.
And then finishes the promo by dropping an American
Wait,
flag
pause,
from.
pause. The largest amount of streamers ever seen outside of a political conventions or in red, white, and blue is launched across the entire ring. And then
He drops an American flag from the rafters that covers all of TV side, with the stars each being a picture of his head.
Now look at the little guy, the guy on the knee and stuff.
Yeah.
yeah, kissing
Yeah.
the ring.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but that is your
And
new.
I-
Got his
oh
initials.
my God, I didn't realize his initials are on every plate.
Uh-huh.
I didn't see that before.
That's your new American Championship, because I can't call it the United States Championship.
That is like the perfect. He's going back to the heel I love.
Well, remember, he changed the world title
yeah.
to suit his needs.
Yeah. He's playing the heel that I missed from a year ago. You know what I'm saying? When he tried doing the kangaroo stuff and everything. Now he's back to the MJF, which I love.
Oh, that's been every speech he's given, and it's been wonderful. But the other part about this is, and also spoiler for you, Don, so bear with it.
Yeah, it's all right.
Rob,
Yes, sir.
how long do you think this belt really exists? Because I don't think it's going to be long.
Still all out. There's all in.
That's what I thought too. And I loved. Did you see Lance Storm's reply to it?
I did not.
Lance Storm replied, and I'm going to bleep myself, so fair warning. Is this like when I put a Canadian flag on the U.S. title just to be or is it legit?
I mean, I don't think it lasts long, but I guarantee you, I also believe they'll put a limited number for sale that'll go to charity.
Oh, I don't know that it'll go to charity, but there should be a portion that does.
Well, but knowing what we know about MJF in real life, I think he will.
You mean Max? What you knowing about Max, not Maxwell? Yeah.
No. We finally have the debut of Camille, who has apparently been on the payroll since January.
Good gig if you can get it.
Yeah. I just don't know if we need her as Mercedes Moné's enforcer.
Yeah.
I need her in a tag team or in a program with Chris Statlander. That's the list.
I think this is more they're going to use Camille as the diesel to Monet's Shawn Michaels, even though we don't think that's the talent level. But I think that's what we're doing is we're going back to what was the old joke. You get 4 episodes under your belt, get signed to a TV deal, and then just look at old TV guides. I feel like that's what this storyline is going to be.
Let's see here. I did not realize that the narrator for the video package. Do you know who that was for the Blood and Guts video package?
I'm not going to lie. I skipped over it.
It was Malenko.
Oh.
And he sounded a lot like Triple H, which was a little weird for me. But I didn't know it was him till I saw it today. I was like, that was Malenko? But it was a really cool narration that he did for, but it was very reminiscent of Triple H. Don, I'm going to give you a fair warning that this happens because I had to get up and walk out of the room because it made me very uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Anthony Bowens, at one point during Blood and Guts, has a pair of scissors, which, yes, we get it.
Yeah. Okay.
But I'm giving you fair warning, and this is not a spoiler, but I want you to know it happens. So when if it does make you uncomfortable, you can look away.
Yeah.
He opens the scissors and puts them in Jungle Boy's mouth, open. I don't know how he got them out of there safely, but I was like, no, this is not the thing you should do. No.
It
was on the outside.
No, they were in his mouth.
Okay. It looked like they were
Was it
open
like
on
this,
the
where they
outside
put
to
them
me,
in?
and he was covering them.
No, to me, it looked like they were in his mouth.
Okay, I thought they were open with the legs of the scissors going on the outside and getting pushed back. That's how I saw it.
But yeah, no, it made me very, very uncomfortable.
Yeah, I was wondering what this was going to be when you were setting it up. I was not expecting it to be that, because there's a lot that happened, Don.
Yeah, what was in the briefcase? Yeah. Let's not do that again.
I was just thinking about how Swerve is a badass.
Yeah.
Because
that man has a tolerance for pain that is unmatched on God's green earth.
Okay. So, Don, in the same semblance of spoilers, I tell me to stop if you want me to stop.
No, it's okay.
You know when you see people use staple guns during like hardcore matches, and either A, there's no staples in it, or B, they're like bent and they barely go in?
Yeah.
Swerve got stapled roughly 15 times. Every single one of them was flat part to the skin.
Surrounded by the elite, they were taking turns.
Yeah, it was
really, because you remember that match he had with Hangman.
This was more,
because I remember he was stapling himself and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No, that
and that ending was as bad as the buildup.
That was a weak. I referred to it as what a wet fart of an ending.
You're not wrong.
But I will say, shout out Mr. Wobble, I couldn't stop giggling about why it finished based on the story he told us at help me, Dave and Buster's.
I was like, this is what we're doing. Okay.
It's like, when did he become, when did X become Y's kid? Because that was way too much.
Also, the only other thing I have for this week is last week's Ring of Honor. Dalton Castle gets right in the camera. He goes, wouldn't it be funny if 1 million people bought my t-shirt as a goof? And now he's out injured for the rest of the year. So go buy his t-shirt.
Yeah, he took a solid shot. He is concussed and having symptoms still.
Yeah. Anything else you boys want to talk about before we wrap it up?
No.
Just looking forward to this might be the first time I'm super excited to get to a SummerSlam. Like I've been excited before. I don't know why I'm so excited for this.
I will be watching on delay. So
SummerSlam is what, a week from Saturday?
Yes, sir. While you're out of town.
Yeah, so we leave Tuesday, get back Thursday night.
Oh, okay. So you'll be back in time for SummerSlam. Okay.
Yeah. So I'll,
you're going to be rushing back like they are.
Yeah. What do you think is going to happen on the big thing there? The big matches.
I'm not ready to talk. I'm not ready to talk about it yet.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, the other part is I still feel like they had to move SummerSlam so much earlier, which unfortunately backed them up right against the Japanese tour. So there's another part of me that's kind of like, temper expectations. There's probably going to be a lot of jet lag.
And remember, tomorrow night SmackDown is pre-taped because they're in Japan.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right, there's a QR code in the upper right corner of your screen right by Alex. Make sure you hit that for all of our social media. If you're on the audio, we'll run it for you anyway. No new reviews this week. Might have one next week. You never know. www.theclubhousepodcast.com. Everything you need to know and some stuff you don't. Follow me on our social medias, everything but Twitter and what's the other one? TikTok. Everything is the Clubhouse Podcast. Those two are Clubhouse Show. Just look for our logo. You'll know where we're at. You can follow me on your social medias if you would like. Everything is Yes That Rob Urban. That is spelled ERVIN.
And I am Vexploit on all social medias. If you'd like to help out the show, you can also go acknowledge our QR code. Go to ProWrestlingTees.com. Search for the Cheap Popcast. buy one of our shirts. There are a lot of different options, a lot of different color options within. If you happen to be an artist or have suggestions, you can reach out to me at alex@theclubhousepodcast.com.
Get those awesome shirts that make me look good. ProWrestlingTees.com/the Cheap Podcast. And at Twitter, I'm at Ikabudu at GBNUUU. If you want to smash your place, email me, Don'sClubhousePodcast.com.
Email Don for information like Saturday. I'm going to be at the Asian Film Festival Dallas. I think I'm just going to start pointing this way starting next week because that's a little bit easier for me. So check that out. You can email me questions, comments, concerns. Tell me to go pound sand. I am Rob at theclubhousepodcast.com. Charlotte Marshall is on Pinterest because we are morally obligated to say that. Our normal show every Thursday night, 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific, your one-stop shop for all things sports, entertainment, pop culture, pro wrestling. We will be back again next week. 3 in a row. That's called a trend, people. So until next time, for Alex, for Don, for the Empire, I'm Rob. Clubhouse is closed. I think we're going to be getting a film with Brittany Palmer in it very soon. I'm seeing some signs on social media, so we're going to keep an eye on that.